In this video, I'm going to show you how you can integrate your Home Assistant installation with your SunSynk cloud account so that you can collect the data generated by your inverter and that's being sent to sunsynk.net and have that populate into your Home Assistant installation. We are going to install a simple add-on which I created, and I'll show you how to install that. But before we do that, we are going to need a long-lived access token, and to do that it's very easy to create. So you just go to your profile name and then you scroll all the way to the bottom and you say create token, and then you just give it a name. I'm just going to say SolarSynk because that is what the add-on's name is, and you click OK. This will generate a token. This token is only generated once, so be sure to copy it. If you by accident closed the screen, then you're going to have to regenerate this, but you can just copy it. And then I'm going to save it somewhere for later, so I'm just going to go to Notepad and dump it into here, and then I'm just going to minimize that for now, so we'll use that later on. So now to add the add-on into Home Assistant, you can just go to my GitHub page, and obviously this link will be in the description of the video. So all you then do is you go back to Home Assistant and we click on Settings, then we go to Add-ons, Add-on Store, and in the top right hand corner you'll see 3 dots. You just click that, click on Repositories, and you paste that link and you click on Add. That will then add the add-on into your Home Assistant store. So you can just click on Close, and then if you go back to these 3 little dots, you can click on Check for Updates, and then you can click on Refresh over here. If you don't see the icon or the add-on appearing here at the bottom after you click on Refresh, you can always press Control F5, which will basically force your browser to refresh and not read anything from cache. So then to continue with this, we just go to SolarSynk and we click on Install. It won't take long to install, it's very quick. And then we have to go to Configuration. So if you click on Configuration, you have to enter all of your details. So obviously it's going to be your sunsynk.net user account, your password, your inverter serial number. The serial number you can find on your SunSynk portal. If you go to inverter, it'll show it there. You can just copy it and then paste it in here. And then there's a Home Assistant's IP address. This IP address has to be the IP address of your Home Assistant installation. It cannot be a local loopback address, so you cannot use localhost or 127.0.0.0.1. And that is because it runs in a little Docker and it's going to try and connect to itself instead of the actual Home Assistant installation. So just use an IP. If you want to run this add-on on this particular PC and send the information to another Home Assistant installation, you can put in a different IP address if you wanted to. Not sure why you would want to do that, but the option is there. So to get going on with this, I'm just going to go back to this notepad where I copied the long-lived token. So we'll just copy that, and then we'll paste it in here. And I'm going to pause the video and fill in the rest of the information so that I don't share my personal details with you. So just give me 2 seconds. So after you populated the configuration and you saved it, you can come to the info page and you can just click Start. You can also enable Start on Boot, Watchdog. If things crash, it will automatically restart. And then auto updates. Of course, if I make changes to this add-on, you will get the updates as well. That's optional if you want to enable that or not. And once you've started this, you'll see the CPU does a few spikes and you can see that it's running. Then you can just click on Log and you can look at all of the information generated. So in the first section, it shows you your bearer code. And then later on, it will just tell you that it's cleaning up all data. So every time it refreshes, it cleans out all data and then it generates new data, and it actually sends that to the entities in Home Assistant. It'll give you some information. In my case, it says brand, it says day. Although I've got a SunSynk inverter, it says day. I guess it's kind of the one in the same thing. And then status is normal. All of this information actually comes from the SunSynk portal. And as you can see here, it says data fetch, see below data dump. If all values are null, then something went wrong. So that just simply means that if you see in all of these values are null, then it means that you've probably entered the wrong configuration, maybe a wrong password or serial number or something. Something's wrong. Just go to configuration, double check that you entered the information correctly, and it will generate this data. And then further down, it just shows you which sensors were updated. And you can actually confirm that by going back to settings and then go to devices and services. And if you go to entities and you go to the filter and you start typing solar, you will get all of the entities, and you can even click them. So if you ran them for a while, or ran this add-on for a while, then obviously there will be some information available. So you can click on battery voltage, for instance, so you can see that it generated some information. Something else you can also check is if you go to developer tools and you go to statistics and you type solar again, you can check this issue field. If it shows that there's an issue, it's not really something you can fix, it's something for me to fix, but this is just to show you that it's generating the entities correctly. So now to actually use these information, I'm going to just show you quickly how to do that. So if you go to overview and you go to a dashboard, you can see I just created a test dashboard. So I can just click on this little menu in the top right hand corner. I can go to edit dashboard. I can say add card, and I will just add something simple. So I'm just going to use this gauge, and we can remove the defaults, and then we can just type solar, and then you can pick any of these entities over here. So let's choose load power. You can see I'm using 661 watts at the moment. So if you click save, it'll add it. And then there's some other nice things you can also add. So I'm going to show you the SunSynk Power Flow card. This was developed by SlipX 06 Power Flow card. I'm not showing you how to install that in this video. It's merely just to show you how to actually get this add-on going. But I'm just going to click on that. If you look in the description of the video, I'll link it to this GitHub page as well. So then you can just add that and click save. Now it's not populated, so what you have to do is you have to go and edit these sensor fields over here and then map them to the correct entity, but you don't have to do that. I already took the advantage and I copied it somewhere here for you. So I'm going to just go back to SolarSynk, and then there should be a SlipX data flow card YAML. So we'll just copy all of that and then simply paste it in there. So we'll just press Control A, delete, clear it out, and then paste, and then save. And then we can just click done. So now you can see this card is totally populated. It is in the evening, as you can see it's 7:30 right now, so my solar panels isn't generating any power. So you can see it's 7.9 volts, it's 1.3 volts, probably like a floating volt, because I don't have a secondary set of solar panels on the second MPPT, but I do have on the first one. And you can see I'm getting 704 watts from the grid. I'm using 661 on my load, and you know, I think you catch the drift, right? So and yeah, that's pretty much how you install it. So yeah, if you've got any questions, drop it into the comments, and yeah, I hope this is helpful. All right, cheers everybody.